don't want you to pull my credit. I don't want to pay student loans, but here we both are. If you're applying for a home, you have 100% heard either the online lender or the local lender talk about needing to pull your credit. Let's talk about why, how the credit pulls work, and what we're looking for. So a credit pull gives us a couple of things. It gives us your credit scores, which approval is not based on scores alone. However, different loan types can have a minimum score that they have to work within. Really, the other piece we're looking at is your credit history. A credit score is representative of how you've handled finances, technically. Now, obviously, some things can be out of your control. Medical collections are a good example. But that's what your credit history is showing us. How have you handled open credit that you've been allowed to open? How have you done as far as making your payments on time? If you're given a maximum that you can take a credit card out to, are you consistently taking it to that maximum? Have there been items that you have not paid that went into collection? So we do need to do a credit pull to see all of these things, as it determines which loan program you could be qualified for, or how much your down payment may have to be depending on the risk, and how much you could take out per loan type. There are costs for credit pulls that the lender has to cover. Now, most lenders will cover that unless you actually close. Once you actually close with that lender and they've underwritten your loan and originated and gone through all the steps, then yes, your credit pull is typically part of your final closing costs. However, that means there are a lot of individuals that do not close with lenders that the lenders are still covering that cost. So sometimes what we will do is we will do a soft pull first. That allows us to see one of your bureaus and give us an idea if you are at least within qualifying range. If you're not within qualifying range, we know you need to go to credit repair or to work on debt, for example, then we may not need to even pull the other bureaus yet. We need to let you work on those items. If we do a soft pull though, and you are within qualifying range and you're wanting that pre-approval letter, then yes, we will need to pull your other two bureaus in, or what a lot of people say is a hard hit to your credit. I get so many people that are afraid of having a full hit to their credit from the pull, and I tell everyone that hard pull is maybe going to affect your credit 2 to 3 points. It's not going to be significant unless you've had a lot of other types of credit pulls. If you've gone and had a furniture company pull your credit and a car dealership and for credit cards, now you've got all these different types of credit pulls all at once. And yes, that can bring your credit down faster, but a single hard pull from a lender, you're really not typically going to notice a big difference. And then if you're shopping lenders, any within the first 45 days of that initial pull all count as one hard pull. So you're not having your credit hit multiple times. That's actually part of some of the mortgage laws that protect you guys when you're searching. Now, one of the most important reasons why we really do need to do that hard pull before we can give you your pre-approval letter is that not everything on your credit reports to all 3 bureaus. So we're only pulling one. Like for example, we're pulling Equifax. You could have installment loans or credit cards that only report to your TransUnion, and those will go into your debt to income ratio, or even collections that only report it to one bureau. And those we have to be able to consider to know if you truly qualify for what we've got you pre-approved for. So I had an example today where I had done a soft pull. We had drilled it down to the exact debt to income ratio this individual needed to stay within for down payment assistance for South Carolina. I said, okay, I need to go ahead and do the hard pull, get the other 2 bureaus in. I pulled those in. We've got 2 other types of loans that were sitting there that did not pull to Equifax. They only pulled to TransUnion. So we had to reconfigure everything and get it back to within the guidelines for that down payment assistance program. But if I hadn't pulled those other 2 bureaus and gave her a pre-approval letter and let her go under contract, we would not have been able to actually close her loan the way it was set up. So it's important for us on our side to make sure your offers are going to be solid, that we do a full credit pull. Again, I remind everyone within 45 days, it's all one pull. So you don't really need to be worried about if another lender checks your credit. Now, I always say there's not really a need to have 5, 10, 15 lenders looking at your information. At some point, you're just driving around to every gas station in town and finding out the gas is actually about the same. But that's why we're doing the credit pulls. That's what we're looking for. If you have any questions though, or want to see what you qualify for, feel free to reach out.